Hello everyone, welcome to New IAS Daily Current Affairs program. Today is 21st March 2019 and the current affairs for today are National Investigation Agency, Disap, Sari Arka Anti-Terror 2019, World Happiness Report, Excise Mithra Shakti. For the map session, we will be dealing with Sultan and last we have PQRS. So, coming to the very first topic, that is about National Investigation Agency. So, this was in news because NIA court acquits Swami Asimananda and 3 others in 2007 Samjauta Express blast case. So, what is this Samjauta Express? So, this is a Indo-Pak express train that runs between Lahore and Atari every Thursday and Monday. Alright, so this is a Indo-Pak Samjauta Express and it covers a total distance of 29 km on the stretch, and the train's international route comprises of 3.2 km between Wagah and Atari in India. Alright, now talking about NIA. So the need for setting up of an agency at the central level for investigation of offences related to terrorism and certain other acts which have complex interstate and international linkages that resulted in the formation of National Investigation Agency. We needed an organization which deal with the investigation of offences related to terrorism, right? And this agency came into existence with the enactment of the National Investigation Agency Act 2008, NIA Act 2008. And NIA is functioning as the Central Counter-Terrorism Law Enforcement Agency in India, right? NIA is functioning as the Central Counter-Terrorism Law Enforcement Agency in India. So, a state government may request the central government to hand over the investigation of a case to NIA provided that case has been registered for the offences as contained in the schedule of the NIA Act. Now talking about this NIA special court, so various special courts have been notified by the central government of India for trial of the cases registered at NIA under this NIA Act 2008. So this NIA court, the special court, it will be presided by a judge appointed by the central government, which will be on the recommendation of Chief Justice of the High Court with jurisdiction in that region. Alright, it will be recommended by Chief Justice of the High Court with jurisdiction in that region. So this NIA special courts, they are empowered with all powers of a court of sessions under the Code of Criminal Procedure 1973 for trial of any offences, right? So it has got all power of a sessions court under the Code of Criminal Procedure. That's about the topic. Now we'll deal with Disap. So Disap, it stands for Domestic Systematically Important Bank. So this was in news because SBI, ICICI Bank and HDFC Bank continue to be in the Reserve Bank of India's list of domestic systematically important banks for the year 2019. Disap means that the bank is too big to fail, right? It is too big to fail. Now, this domestic systematically important banks, like according to RBI, some banks become systematically important due to their size, then cross-jurisdictional activities, then complexity and lack of substitute and interconnection. So, these are the cases in which like a bank can be systematically important, right? So, RBI recognizes a bank, so it can be public or private bank, right? Banks whose assets exceed 2% of GDP are considered part of this group, right? And RBI has stated that if such a bank fails, then there would be significant disruption to the essential services they provide to the banking system and overall economy. right? They are too big to fail, and once if there is any failure in these banks, then it will affect the entire economy. The too big to fail tag also indicates that in case of a distress, the government is expected to support these banks, and these banks have different set of policy measures and regarding the systemic risk and moral hazard issue, right? That's about domestic systematically important banks. Moving on to the next topic, it is about Sari Arka Anti-Terror 2019. So, India, Pakistan and other members of the SCO, that is Shanghai Cooperation Organization, will take part in the joint anti-terrorism exercise which is named as Sari Arka Anti-Terror 2019. So, the decision to hold this exercise, it was announced during the 34th meeting of SCO's RATS Council. RATS means Regional Anti-Terror Structure. So, RAT is a organization which is related to SCO. Please note this point. This will be important for your prelims. RATS, it is related to SCO, Shanghai Cooperation Organization. And talking about SCO, so this Shanghai Cooperation Organization, it is a Eurasian political, economic and military organization, right? It is a political, economic and military organization, and this was created in 1996, and in 2001 Uzbekistan was added to this group, and in 2017 India and Pakistan were admitted to this block of SCO group, right? And the members of SCO are China, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Russia, Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, India and Pakistan. These are the member countries of Shanghai Cooperation Organization, and the official working languages of the Shanghai Cooperation are Chinese and Russian. These are the two official languages, Chinese and Russian, and it has given observer status to Iran, Mongolia, Belarus and Afghanistan. So these four countries have observer status to SCO, Iran, Mongolia, Belarus and Afghanistan, and it is headquartered in Beijing, right? SCO is headquartered in Beijing. And talking about RATS, RATS, I have already told, it stands for Regional Anti-Terrorist Structure. So this is a permanent organ of SCO, and this serves to promote cooperation of member states against the evils of what? Terrorism, separatism and extremism. So this permanent organ, it fight against terrorism, separatism and extremism, and this body, this organ, it is headquartered in Tashkent, that is in Uzbekistan, right? That's about SCO and RATS. And our next topic is about World Happiness Report. So the report says that India is not as happy in 2019 as they were in 2018, right? So this is the UN's 7th annual World Happiness Report, and India stands at 140th place, that is 7 spots down from the last year, right? Now India ranks only 140th position, and the list is topped by Finland for the 2nd year in a row. And talking about this report, it is the annual publication of United Nations Sustainable Development Solution Network. United Nations Sustainable Development Solution Network releases World Happiness Report, and this report was released on March 20, which has been designated as the World Happiness Day by the United Nations General Assembly. So yesterday was World Happiness Day, and that's why they released this report, and the report ranks countries on 6 key factors that support well-being, and they are income, freedom, trust, healthy life expectancy, social support and generosity. These are the 6 factors, right? This is just for your information. And talking about United Nations Sustainable Development Solution Network, so this is an independent global network of research centers, universities and technical institutions, and this aim at mobilizing scientific and technical expertise for problem solving in relation to sustainable development. Right? The name itself says that it works for the sustainable development solutions. And this body, it was the outcome of United Nations Conference on Sustainable Development, that is Rio Plus 20. This was launched in 2012, Rio Plus 20. So this is an important point. Please do remember this. This was an outcome of Rio Plus 20 summit of United Nations Conference on Sustainable Development, and the secretariat is located in Paris and New York, and this works under the control of United Nations Secretary General, right? So we will move to the next topic, that is about exercise Mithra Shakti. So this is exercise carried between two countries, India and Sri Lanka, and this is conducted annually as a part of military diplomacy and interaction, and this aims to build and promote close relation between armies of both the countries, right? So it is exercise Mithra Shakti. It is an military exercise between India and Sri Lanka. So we will move to map aided program. Today we will be seeing Nur Sultan. So Nur Sultan was in news because Kazakhstan renames its capital as Nur Sultan after ex-president Nur Sultan Nazarbayev. So after his name, Astana was the capital of Kazakhstan, and that was renamed as Nur Sultan. So in the map you can see that Astana's location, and this was renamed as Nur Sultan. Nur Sultan, it stands for Sultan of Light in Kazakh, and the parliament approved this change within hours. Talking about the location of Kazakhstan, it is the world's largest landlocked country, right? Kazakhstan is the world's largest landlocked country, and this is a transcontinental country largely located in Asia and some of its western parts in Europe. And Kazakhstan shares its border with Russia, China, Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan and Turkmenistan, and also it adjoins a large part of this Caspian Sea also, right? And we will move to PQRS. The question is, consider the following crops of India. 1. Groundnut. 2. Sesame. 3. It is pearl millet. Now, which of the above is or are predominantly rain-fed crop? That's the question, and you have the options. So, actually this question they are asking for the kharif crop. It is the rain-fed crop, and out of these, which are the rain-fed crops or the kharif crops? So, groundnut, it is widely grown in tropic and subtropic region, and this is a major oil seed crop in India. And the major states which grows this groundnut, they are Gujarat, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Maharashtra, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Odisha and Uttar Pradesh. So almost most of the states are growing this groundnut. And talking about sesame, so it requires an optimum temperature that is between 25 degrees Celsius to 35 degrees Celsius, and India is one of the major producer of this sesame, and this crop is grown in almost all parts of the country. So more than 85% of the production of this sesame comes from West Bengal, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh, Gujarat, Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. So this is the statistics. And talking about pearl millet, India is the largest producer of pearl millet, and Rajasthan is the highest producing state in India. And the answer for the question, that is D, 1, 2 and 3, all the three, groundnut, sesame and pearl millet, all these are predominantly rain-fed crop in India, right? So these all are kharif crop, and these are mainly grown as rain-fed crop in India, and the right answer for the question is D, 1, 2 and 3. So that's with it. I hope you are clear with the topic, and with that we wind up today's session. You can download the daily current affairs material from the link given below. Thank you for watching.